is open to you.
Good morning, Claremont Center for Spiritual Living. How are you this morning? I'll just keep talking and Ed will get that speaker. There we go. We're good. Thumbs up. All right. Nice to see all of you. Welcome. Excuse me. Well, normally I tell you how beautiful the mountains are, but you can't see them today. What I know, though, is that they're always there, just in case you were wondering. That's your metaphysical moment for the day. The promise of snow, that's true. It's a promise of water all year round down here in the lowlands, right? Well, I'm Reverend Tracy and delighted to welcome you to Claremont Center and to let you know that if you're here for the first time, wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are welcome here with us. We are here to love and support each other, whatever that looks like. Mostly it looks like fun and fellowship and music and laughter and snacks after service. And all of those things together, along with food for thought, is what feeds us in our daily life. So welcome and thank you all for coming. I want to acknowledge our friends that are watching online. We do have a crew out there that's there every week. Hello, thank you for joining us. And just to let you know, too, that you can see the service on YouTube after the fact. If you go to our website, there's a link that will take you right to our YouTube. You can also subscribe to our YouTube. And what's really nice is if you hit the little like button and say how lovely we all are, because what that does is it boosts our exposure out there in the world. And I love what we teach, and I love that we all come together to get good at it, so to speak, but I like it even more when other people see who we are, because that just spreads the light, and aren't we all here to spread light? That's why we're here. All right, so let's get started this morning. Our practitioner of the day is Nisa Burrows. Excuse me. Everybody clear their throat with the minister. Yes, thank you. I will let you know up front, this is not contagious. This is the residual of a couple weeks ago bronchitis, which continues to play havoc with my vocal cords. Otherwise, I'm healthy. We have music today, nothing wrong with their vocal cords. We welcome back the Jacksons. And some of you may realize, or you may not, that one Sunday a month, our musicians perform for us as volunteers. So there is a tip jar up here, which means that you can show them just how much you love their music at the end of the service. So do take advantage of that. All right, we're going to get started. I'm going to invite you to go within to get centered. So if you will, wherever you are right now, take a deep breath, clear your lap, turn off your phones, close your eyes if you're comfortable, and let the sound of the bowl bring your attention within. For there is right here, right now, an awareness of that love that is within every heart. And it is from this place of love, of peace, of light, that we remember the true oneness of all life.
And in the oneness of that one life, that one love, that one power, we have come together to receive a greater understanding of this infinite spirit that moves to each one here, through each one here, and expresses itself as the divine presence each one here calls me. Appearing as individuals and part of the one life, the one love, the one power. Breathing it in, receiving it, and radiating it out, each moment, each breath. And in this space of divine receptivity, I know that each one here receives exactly what is perfect for themselves to receive in Reverend Tracy's wonderful message for us this morning. Knowing it is so, and so it is. Good morning. My reading this morning is from a Joel Goldsmith book, Consciousness is What I Am. So, consciousness is what I am. Christ is my individual consciousness and yours. Everyone who touches me anywhere on life's journey must automatically be lifted up, if only a grain higher in spiritual consciousness, with a grain less of sin, a grain less of disease, a grain less of old age, a grain less of false appetites. As we consciously begin to realize the Christ as the identity of every individual, we're establishing the reign of the Christ on earth. We're part of a pioneer movement. We do not have to belong to any teacher, teaching, or religion. Every one of us is the temple of God, and our relationship with God has to do with an activity of our own consciousness, in which we realize that we are heirs of God, joint heirs to all the heavenly riches, to the omnipresence, omnipotence, and omniscience of God. Christ consciousness is now evolving on earth, and it continues to evolve. The new generations born into that consciousness, what we're developing through study and meditation, will be born into. The old world will be wiped out and disappear, and a new world will be born. Those who are realizing spiritual principles are forming the consciousness of the new generation. This process didn't begin with us. We're just the recipients of all the spiritual wisdom of Lao Tzu, Gautama, Jesus, John, Paul, and of all the spiritual wisdom of the mystics of the world, which has helped to form our consciousness. That which was placed in consciousness by the mystics of all time has enabled us to be born not as savages, but as persons with some degree of civilization. A higher consciousness is evolving, and all mankind is the beneficiary of it. Thank you.
Good morning. It's always good to be here, and we love to share what we love to do. We have a new song for you this morning. This one is called When We Come Together. When we come together, we create a circle of love. And when we focus our intentions, we shine just like the sun. When we share our love, it strengthens the light in all of us. We were born to feel connected, born to share our love. when we work together for love, our common cause. That feeling grows and travels in every one of us. Together love will lift us and this world that we all share, sending love to people around the world just because we care.
You can sing with this part. Here we go.
La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. I see our dreams coming true. A world united in truth. Together working hand in hand. We make a difference when together we stand. When we come together, we create a circle of love. And when we focus our intentions, we shine just like the sun. We share our love, it strengthens the light in all of us. We were born to feel connected, born to share our love. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. One more. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right. So today we light our candle in honor of love, and specifically for Black History Month. And I want to share with you the words of Bell Hooks. We're talking about community this month, and I thought this was interesting. Bell Hooks is a poet and essayist. I'm often struck by the dangerous narcissism fostered by spiritual rhetoric that pays so much attention to individual self-improvement and so little to the practice of love within the context of community. And I want to make a special note that Science of Mind makes the point that we don't just get better for ourselves, for stuff. We do so that we might bring an uplift into community, into the world. One of our senior ministers in the movement wrote, "I think the whole purpose of spiritual communities is to heal ourselves, to be immersed in community, love, and acceptance long enough that we heal, meaning we become whole. We live out divine love. We do that together faster, and then the logical outcome is to give that wholeness, that healed humanity, to the spiritual community and to the world in service. If it's all for getting stuff, it's meaningless and empty. It leads to mistaken thinking and acting. Spiritual bypass. You know, that's the part where you say everything's la, 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 lovely when it's not. We use prayer to align ourselves within as love. And we use action for the outer alignment and practice of love. So the talk today is called The Infinite Wheel. And it's this beautiful picture, created this image in my mind of the center and then all the spokes and then the outer rim, right? Everybody knows, kind of like a wagon wheel. But what you want to ask yourself is, what is the center of your life? What is the hub made of? So Rajneesh, a Hindu poet and writer, says greed, desire, ambition, jealousy, possessiveness, domination, all our best qualities. You have to watch everything. And they're all interconnected. Remember, if greed disappears, then anger will disappear. If anger disappears, jealousy will disappear. If jealousy disappears, violence will disappear. If violence disappears, possessiveness will disappear. They are all intertwined. In fact, they are spokes of the same wheel. And the hub that supports them all is the ego. So watch the ways of the ego. But what if our hub is not our individual ego, but instead is that spiritual essence within us? What if spirit is the hub of our wheel of life? Mark Nepo, in the Book of Awakening, wrote, "Imagine that each of us is a spoke in an infinite wheel, and through each spoke is essential in keeping the wheel, and though each spoke in the wheel is essential in keeping the wheel whole, no two spokes are the same. The rim of that wheel is our living sense of community and family and relationship. But the common hub where all the spokes join is the one center where all souls meet. So as I move out into the world, I live out my uniqueness. But when I dare to look into my core, I come upon the one common center where all lives begin. In that center, we are one and the same. For mysteriously and powerfully, when I look deep enough into you, I find me." And so this idea that we are called to live from our common good, from our common truth, from the essence of who we are, which is love. When we live from that place, we recognize that in each other. And love always brings healing. Not to say we always behave well, but the chances are much better if we're coming from love than if we're allowing jealousy or anger or possessiveness to drive us. The definition of the word spoke is a bar or a rod inserted in the hub of a wheel to support the rim. There's all kinds of metaphysics in that one little phrase. We know the term rod, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me, right? The rod is the shepherd's crook. And it's not a weapon. It's used to assist the sheep in getting out of a crevasse or getting over an obstacle or rejoining the group that they belong to. It's a power tool, right? It's a power tool for moving us forward. It's inserted into the hub. It's connected to the source of that power. A wheel moves based on the power in the hub. Lao Tzu says we join spokes together in a wheel, but it's the center hole that makes the wagon move. Spokes by themselves do nothing. It has to move. And so the fact that the spokes are inserted into the hub connects us to our source, that infinite source of power, to support the rim. And the rim, as Nepo says, is that outer living that we do. It's the relationship we have with the world. Whether it's how we meet the road and move forward, or whether it's the relationship we have with each other, or with ideas, or with the energy of life at all. It's how we are, how we show up. And that's why each spoke is unique. We're all connected to the same source, and yet we each express individually. We each show up as ourselves. And if you're only looking at the outer rim, there's great distance between the spokes. We look completely separate, completely different, and yet we're not. We are connected. We are always connected one to another. And we are connected to the world that we live in, not in the sense that it defines who we are, but that we might define it. We're connected at our source, which is a oneness, and that energy is then what we put out into the world uniquely, with our gifts, with our talents, with our ideas, with our energy, with all that has shaped us. And hopefully what we're doing along the way is returning to the center in order to refresh our knowing of spirit and then moving back out into the world. You know that the circumference is where all the motion is, right? Elizabeth Gilbert wrote Eat, Love, Pray. Eat, Pray, Love. There it is. Eat first, no matter what. I got that right. Imagine the universe is a great spinning engine. You want to stay near the core of the thing, right in the hub of the wheel, not out at the edges where all the wild whirling takes place. Feels like a blender sometimes in life, doesn't it? Things go so fast and one after another, and it never really stops, and I don't find peace out there, do I? I have to come within. You can get frayed and crazy out at the edges where that wild whirling takes place. The hub of calmness, that's your heart. That's where God lives in you. So stop looking for answers in the world. Just keep coming back to that center to find your peace, to find the love, to find the joy that you're looking for. So our spiritual practice is always to return to center. Our spiritual practice is to use what tools we have to remind ourselves that, yes, the world is out there. Yes, we're a part of it. And you know what? I'm more than that. There's a power greater than the news in my life that allows me to live. There's a power greater than my worst behavior that doesn't define me completely, because there's something more to me than that, whatever is out there on the rim. But I only find it again if I go within. I only refresh myself when I take the time to pause. When was the last time you sat in silence? And I'm not looking at Nisa, because she does it all the time. She's really good at it. But for a lot of us, when was the last time you sat in silence and appreciated it as opposed to being bored? How many people are easily bored? Yep, don't blame you. It takes practice, right? That's why they call it practice. Because when we're silent and we're focused on our heart, there is a richness and an enriching that happens in the rest of our lives. Ernest Holmes, in The Voice Celestial, said the one and only, that's capital O for one and capital O for only, meaning the infinite one. The one and only is the central point, the pivot of the ever-spinning wheel of life, whose spokes are souls, but as they swiftly whirl, they are a plane, an undivided whole. Think about that for a moment. So you have all these pieces that make up this wheel, and when the spinning is happening, it looks like a solid plane. It's not individual spokes. It is a oneness. It is a single surface in motion. And isn't that the truth of life? We're all moving. Every part is moving. It feels like sometimes it's trying to run us over. And yet there is a oneness if we have the right perspective. If we see it as a whole, if I can be in the world and remember my spirit, if I can see your gifts and in the world and know that at your heart there is peace and calm and quiet, if you can look at me and see that what I am expressing is also a part of you, you resonate because it's in you already, then we're looking at this motion of life as the oneness that it is. Our call is to know who we are at our core. We do focus on self-improvement, on individual knowing, on growth, on personal transformation, because only people who are healing can heal the world. You all know people who are very much unhealed, thrashing about, causing havoc, creating harm to themselves, to others, to the planet, because they don't have that perspective of oneness, of wholeness. And so, yes, we focus on ourselves, but it is with the intention of sharing the gift of who we are with the world. And we do that through community. We do it when we come together with like-minded people, with shared values, with a common goal. We do that when we go out into the world and have a conversation with someone who doesn't believe the same way we do. We bring our gifts to every situation, and in doing so, we shine a light on where healing can happen. You know, even in the midst of war in the Middle East, there are Israelis and Arabs who continue their dialogue, their friendships, their ability to live and work together. The human heart doesn't know borders unless we put them there. And so we're called, yes, to know ourselves and to take action and to move in the world. Now, you don't have to be a huge activist. You don't have to protest. You don't even have to light a candle for somebody. But in your heart of hearts, you know who you are in this world. And if you don't, that's why you're here, to find out. But there's something you love to do. There's something you're really good at. There's something that maybe when you were growing up they said was minor or unimportant, or, you know, get a real job, don't be an artist, right? And yet, that gift is yours. That gift is yours to share. I'm a big fan of women's basketball, and right now it's college basketball. And you've probably heard the names of some of these women that are doing amazing things. Caitlin Clark from Iowa, she's just, you know. And Hidalgo, I can't remember her first name. But you listen to them talk about what they do as an athlete. They've always done it from the time they were little. They played with the boys because there weren't girls' teams. Their dad showed them how to do it. They had 4 brothers and played against all of them, and that's how come they got whatever it is, but they couldn't not play. There's something in you that you can't not do. And that's the power that is at the hub of your heart. That's the power of the gift that you are out into the world. And don't think it's not important. Don't think we don't need it. I had heard a TED Talk once, and the guy was talking about, you think art isn't important? You don't think we should be teaching it in our schools? Okay. Go for a whole day without art. All right, so other than a plain cement block building, you have no paint colors, you have no variation in texture, you have no printed materials because, well, maybe black and white on paper, but you certainly don't have anything beautiful in your life. And if you've ever driven around downtown of a decaying city on a gray day, you get that feeling of hopelessness and despair and grayness. So there isn't anything that's unimportant. We are all part of the mosaic of life. I need your music. I need your essay. I need your humor. I want to see that crazy clay thing you made in 2nd grade because it's cute. You know, we all need a little cute in our lives. That's why we have puppies. It's good for us. It's good for us. In the book Secrets of Divine Love, A Spiritual Journey into the Heart of Islam, it's written, just as water wheels raise water from a flowing river toward a fertile garden, prayer pulls our consciousness from the flow of our passing thoughts toward the garden of the eternal soul. Prayer is more than physical motions, more than words of praise or supplication or gestures of humility. When we pray, we join the orbit of love. We flow with the rivers, sway with the trees, dance with the moon, and sing with the birds. When we pray, we join with what is and has always been in constant appreciation of the divine. Prayer for you may be a walk in nature. It may be doing that artful thing that you love to do. It may be losing yourself in words. It may be contemplating writings. It may be sitting in silence. It may be lighting that candle. But the time we spend getting back in touch with our own heart in any given moment, especially when the world is chaotic, especially when the news is disturbing, especially when we don't feel well, especially when our family's doing crazy things and we don't know how to fix it, that's when we need it the most. Return to center. Align yourself with the love that is within, because it's always there. Always there. Now, next week, we're going to be talking more about CCSL as a spiritual community. It's our annual meeting. We always talk about community on that Sunday during the service, and then we have our potluck and our conversation about the state of the union and what our plans and visions are for the next year. But I want to start with us today. I want to ask you to think for a moment about what is central in your life. What values and vision are you carrying in your own heart for yourself? What's important to you? And just take a second and just think about that. What is the value that I hold in my heart for life, for myself, for my family, for my community? Somebody give me a word. What is part of the value of your heart? Connection. Helping. Service. What else do you value? Contributing. Understanding. Beauty. Kindness. Music. Dance. Love, prayer, peace. The things we value, the things we envision for our best life. It's important to know what our heart says. You know, they're all forms of love and expression. Yet we are unique, and it's okay to make a discernment between this thing and that thing. Like, I'd have to say folk music over rap music, but that's just me. But there's a value there in harmony or rhythm, or even just appreciating the skill of the musician. What is it that powers you? If the hub is the power of this wheel of life, what is it that moves you? Helping others. Seeing a need, yeah? What moves you? Growth. Newness, right? For me, seeing or trying something new, preferably with a friend. I'm not a big risk taker, personally, but I find that when I do something new, I'm energized, right? Belonging. Success, right? Achievement. What I noticed. Yes, community involvement. Being engaged, right? To feel like you're part of something. Yeah. So we're moved by different, sorry? Creating. Creating, and that's creating anything, right? We have a lot of creative people in this room. Oh, that's right, we're all creative. Whether you can paint or write or sing or not, we create all the time. All the time. So this life that we live, sourced from within, is one of expressing what it is that moves us, expressing what it is we're drawn to do allowing ourselves the time to practice and to get to know ourselves, and then bringing that to the world. And next week, we'll talk more about how, as a community, we might do that in a greater way together. But in order to do that, we've got to know ourselves. We've got to know what we're bringing here and now. And what I see is that we have a variety. We have this beautiful bouquet of creativity right here in this room. And we feel it when we come together. It's why we come together. We've been talking about community as a sense of belonging, and that belonging comes from shared values and shared visions. You know? When you vision for your future, what element would you like to see more of? When I think about who I am becoming and who I want to be, or maybe what I want the next phase of my life to be, or maybe once the kids leave, or maybe once, I retire, whatever it is, what is the element that I'm looking to expand in my life? Maybe it is more time to create. Maybe it's more time to be outside. Did you know that the crows talk out here every morning? We hear them when the room is silent. There's something to learn from that, right? What about you? What is it that you envision for yourself? What do you want more of in your life? Yes, Graham.
Fewer isms.
Fewer isms.
Racism, nativism, nationalism.
Any kind of exclusion. More inclusion, less exclusion. I love it. Yes? Shared exploring. I like that. That's that newness thing in me that goes, ooh, 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 let's talk about that. What else makes you go, ooh, ooh, ooh? I know I'm not the only one that does it. I'm the only one that does it up here in front of you, but I know you all do ooh, ooh, ooh somewhere in your life. Anybody else? Accomplishment. Okay. Strength. Ways in which we can show ourselves even that we're strong. Yes, Susie?
Learning more about others and doing activities.
Okay. Learning more about others by doing activities. So there's a way of learning and understanding that comes from direct experience. And that means somebody's got to reach out, right? Somebody's got to invite. Somebody's got to host something that people can come to. We can do that. Field trips. We love field trips. So think about, as a community, as you are a part of the heart of this community, think about what that might look like for us in 2024. How can we envision ourselves in the world in a greater way, in a way that is true not only to our teaching, but to our own hearts? And be creative. And it doesn't have to be big. Fun. It could just be fun. Yes.
A job well done.
A job well done. Exactly. Exactly. So earlier today I read that, prayer is an inner alignment with love, and action is for the outer alignment and practice of love. So how do you act on your values now? What kinds of things are you already doing that feed your soul, that honor your heart, that offer creativity to the world? What do you do? Come on, be brave. Prayer circle. Excellent. Singing in a choir.
Housing the homeless.
Housing the homeless. I baked cookies for my girl. Meals on Wheels. There you go. I walk my dog. It's a little thing. But look at what it does. For me, it gets me up off the couch. That's a good thing. For her, it gives her something to do, and she loves it. She's a big fan fan of newness, as long as we take the same route every time. She's a dog. She's got rules, you know. But it also means that I may not know the names of my neighbors, but I do know the names of all my neighbors' dogs. It's a human thing. It's just what we do. Gets me out in the neighborhood. Lets me see where a need might be. Lets me see where someone is working in their life to make their home more beautiful. Lets me see how the city comes together to fix all those potholes that showed up during the rainstorm. Because they are fixing them. Most of them. Some places. Yes? Oh, right, my favorite. Random acts of kindness. Did you know yesterday was Random Act of Kindness Day? Oh, well, that's because we teach that every day is a Random Act of Kindness Day, but really February 17th is Random Act of Kindness Day. So if you didn't know yesterday, then you probably should do 2 today. Yeah.
Paying it forward.
Paying it forward. Paying for anything. It's a way of circulation in the world, right? So we are this. We all have ideas. We are all expressing in life, you know? And why is it, do you think, that we feel better when we've been of service? Why is that? I mean, so I, held the door for somebody. I feel good. Karina.
I feel good too, especially when you hear that they paid it forward.
Yeah.
It's a ripple effect.
That's a great idea. Yeah. Yeah, we've started something. It doesn't end with us. And it never ends with us. We just don't always see where it goes, right? But we're always rippling out into the world. Yeah, Susie.
Because when you open yourself, it becomes reciprocal.
Right.
You make a connection that might have been unexpected.
That's true. Make a connection that might have been unexpected. It's reciprocal. You put yourself out there a little bit, even if it's just quietly or even anonymously. But it does have a ripple effect, and it does eventually come back to you in one way or another. Not always one for one, not always a straight line. But you know that when you live life actively engaged in promoting kindness or creativity or helping kids or helping the seniors or whatever, you are making the world a better place in your own world, and that comes back to you because you're open to even seeing it, right? Most folks that walk around complaining about everything and nothing ever goes their way and they're always the victim don't see kindness even when it shows up. You find what you're looking for. And if you are looking for ways to be kind, you will always see kindness everywhere. And that can only help us all, right? So this week, what I want you to do in preparation for next week is I want you to think about a couple things. I want you to think about, why do you come here? Here in particular. What is it at Claremont Center that you would miss if it were not here? And give yourself a little time. Carry a scrap of paper around with you or put it in notes in your phone. And every time you think of something, jot it down. And we'll use that next week. We'll talk more about who we are as a community, why we're here, and how that why is going to fuel who we are and who we become. Because I see this community as a hub of love in the world. We're just ready to radiate out in new ways, and I know we can. And that's exciting, because remember, I like newness. So I'll end with a quote from Marianne Williamson in her book, A Return to Love. It's what we've been saying all morning. We're like the spokes on a wheel, all radiating out from the same center. If you define us according to our position on the rim, we seem separate and distinct from one another. But if you define us according to our starting point, our source, the center of the wheel, we're a shared identity. If you dig deep enough into your own mind and deep enough into mine, the picture is the same. At the bottom of it all, what we are is love. Namaste. Let's take a moment and go within. Breathing into your heart space. Breathing out that sense of relief and release that you are home here. For there truly is an atmosphere of belonging, of home and hearth, of safety and peace and warmth in the heart center that we carry with us always. For we are truly energized by that infinite source that is all of life, that is love. And how good it is to pause and remember that the truth of our being can only be good. That we are here by divine appointment, even if we don't remember making the appointment. Right where we are, Spirit is at work. In us, through us, as us in the world. And so I speak my word for a transformative experience of love. That here, starting within me, is the love that all life is. And I am transformed into my greater yet to be. And as this is true for me, it is true for everyone in the room, for everyone hearing my voice. That there is a heart center that cannot be denied, that powers and empowers us to be in the world in a different way, to show up as light, as love, as forgiveness, as compassion, as kindness. An energy of life that is within each one of us, that is creative and expressive, that is inclusive and welcoming, just as we wish to be included and welcomed. For in spirit there are no borders, no boundaries. There is only a oneness, a power that fuels everything and everyone. And that power is love, and it is the truth of who we are, and for that I am grateful. Grateful to meet so many different forms of love. Grateful to bring love to any place and anyone looking for healing. Grateful to know that I belong in this community that values love, that envisions a greater expression of love, both within and without. And I am grateful for this power that is within us, this power that I see, this power that I feel. For I know the transformational power of love, and it is good and getting better all the time, right where we are, right where we bring it to. For we are truly the vehicle, the channel for spirit in the world. In saying a word of thanks, I simply release my word into that infinite law. For I know that in the one mind, in the Christ consciousness, that consciousness of oneness, there is God and only God. There is love and only love. There is light, and it is good and very good and very, very good. And so it is. We have an affirmation, and I'm going to invite you to repeat after me so that our friends online can join in. You'll find it in your bulletin. I am centered in spirit. All that I am in the world is an expression of love. And so it is. Take your bulletin home with you and say that every day. See what changes. Something will change. All right, we have a little more music from our favorites, the Jacksons. And again, I'll just remind you, they've got a tip jar up front today.
Good morning. You know, when we get to the second song, after you do your talk, I'm so emotional that I never know if I'm going to be able to even do the song. But there are a lot of things in this song that, this last one that we sang for you in the beginning, we wrote this week. We wrote it Wednesday. You're the first people that have ever heard it. And but this one, the second one, I think I wrote this about 25 years ago. And it always comes to me. I have a habit of talking to people I don't know. Okay, it's just in me. We go to the grocery store and I strike conversations with everybody. Any kind of opening there is at all to connect with somebody, I do that, and it's just like a force of habit. Anyway, but that's where this song comes from. It's called Little Bit of Lovin'. Everybody needs a little bit of loving every day. Just a smile from a perfect stranger will take the blues away. Don't cost nothing, just turn around and say, yeah, well, I'm wishing you a beautiful day.
It feels good to be kind. Just a little bit of love you will find. Each smile you give comes back in time. And we'll have a better life. Little less stress and strife. Little more feeling good. Like I know we could.
Now every day I feel a little bit better when I let my love light shine. I can feel the chain reaction when I let our love combine. I can feel the freedom when I let myself just be. Person that I've always known I was meant to be.
It feels good to be kind. Just a little bit of love you will find. Each smile you give comes back in time. And we'll have a better life. Little less stress and strife. Little more feeling good. Like I know we could.
I don't know if y'all could see the little looks that went between the two of them here and there, but there's like sheer joy up here in this corner of the room. Love it. Larry, you're amazing on that guitar. Thank you both so much. It's an awesome song. Thank you. Whew. All right, so it is the time of our contribution. We are an abundant community, all because of the gifts that you give. And so thank you for that. Not just from me, but from the board and from your fellow community members, because together we create something wonderful. So say it with me, our abundance affirmation. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am prosperous now. There's a basket in the back of the room for your donations here. There's also a donate button on our website and in our weekly email. And we are in the process of setting up text to give. So when you forget your checkbook, you could still text us your donation. How about that? And some of you may know that we do auto pay. You can do it through PayPal. You can set up an automatic payment if that's easier for you. That's another way that you can contribute to the community. That's not based on your needing to be here every single Sunday, because we realize that some of you have other things that you do once in a while on a Sunday morning. I don't know why I manage to make it every week, but the rest of you I know have things to do. So lots of ways to contribute to our community, and thank you for all of them. Thank you. The flowers are from Nisa this week. Aren't they beautiful? You too can donate flowers for Sunday morning. You're actually buying them for yourself and letting us use them on Sunday. So there's a sign-up sheet in the back of the room if you would like to contribute to flowers. We have several other announcements. One of them is we are looking for more volunteers for our counting team. If you want to increase the abundance in your life, count money. We have opportunities for you to do that. It's always with someone else. It's usually once a month. That's the goal, so it's not that you have to do it every week. But it is a wonderful way to bless the center and to expand your own consciousness. So if you are interested in helping out with that, talk to Graham. He's our count minister, and he'll get you set up with a schedule and show you what to do. Really, guys, it's not hard. I know you know how to count those $20 bills. Some of you can count $1 bills. Some of you count $50 bills. We love them all. All right, let's see what's going on. All right, Wednesday night we have Gateway back in session. However, we have a new time. Meditation is at 5 o'clock in the practitioner room. And
the meditation is online Zoom.
Yeah. Also, you can Zoom the meditation. You can join us here on the property at 5 o'clock. And the service itself is at 5:30 here in the chapel instead of 7. So we've moved it back. It allows some folks that would rather not drive at night to attend Wednesday night service because it doesn't look like nighttime when they leave. This is a good thing. It's always interesting. I don't have the topic for next week handy, but there's always a presentation of some sort and a conversation. And if it's a holiday like last week, it's arts and crafts night. So there's always something to do. Let's see. Next week, as we said, it's our annual meeting and potluck. So if you want to eat, bring a dish to share. Now, we never run out of food. So if you get here and you go, oh, my casserole is in the fridge at home, we'll still feed you, okay? But you know, do come, even if it's a bag of chips, you know, and we'll have an opportunity to elect some new board members, to answer any questions you might have about how the center is doing and what we're doing, and we'll have a conversation, continue the conversation we're having about who we want to be in this next year. So we're looking forward to that. Those of you that are members, you may vote in the election for those board members. We have 4 seats being considered, 4 candidates being considered. You'll get to meet them. And, you know, it's been a while since we all sat down to lunch together. So please come, ask your questions, bring your questions. Bring your smiling faces and your food. It'll be a blast. We've got classes starting. The 5 Gifts for an Abundant Life is starting Tuesdays, February 20th. So that's coming up next Tuesday. Okay. Oh, sorry, this Tuesday, 2 days from now. So if you're on the sign-up sheet, Mary is setting it up so that it's either Zoom or in person, and she'll be contacting you if she hasn't already about the start of class. The sheets are, the sign-up's in the back, so if you're still interested, please put your name on there. Yes? The Tuesday night class, it's on the flyer, 6:30? 6:30. Yeah, and they're usually about 2 hours. There's a flyer in the back, too, you can grab to take with you. The Thursday night class, The Infinite You is the Universe. I haven't set a new start date. You'll forgive me for, I'm kind of focused on the annual meeting next week. So after the annual meeting. So my guess is the first or second week of March will start, but I will get that date pinned down and put that out. So this class is based on the book, This Thing Called You. It's science of mind through and through. It's a great way to apply what we talk about in your individual life. So I encourage you to join us for that. We are doing our spring fundraiser, and you all get to help. How many of you sold or bought Girl Scout cookies? Okay. How many of you also like C's candy? Okay, here's your sign-up sheet. Take it with you. Sell it to all your friends. They're going to run out of cookies eventually. They're going to want Easter candy, right? Right. Okay, so they make it really easy. You put in people's names. You put how many boxes of all the little things they want. The prices are right on there. The center gets a share of that. It doesn't cost the customer any more, but we also make a little money for us. So it's a win-win. And yes. Yeah, the chocolate. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. It's true. Thank you, Graham. Well, the way I sell C's candy is I ask my friends and coworkers. Try not to ask my church people friends because you all are selling to each other, and I don't want to interrupt that. So I go to my other friends. I do have a couple others. I sell it to them, and whatever they buy, I usually get one for me too, because that way it doubles the profit for the center. I'm doing it for us. Really, I am. Yeah. Okay. Scotch mallow eggs are really good, yes. Anyway, so there are flyers and envelopes on the back table. Please take one. Please don't make Shelley make all the sales this year. Last year, she did, I think, 90% of our sales because she knows everybody. You don't want to be shown up by...
That made me buy stuff all year, and I said, okay, it's your turn.
Yeah, there you go. It's your turn. It's your turn. All right, so grab a sheet, grab an envelope, and let the fun begin, and the chocolate will be here in time for Easter. All right? Let's see.
And I don't like picking it up because I eat like a ton.
All right.
I give you all kinds of free chocolate.
Oh, that's true. Yes, Karina.
Is there an online link you can send it to, or is it all through,
That is an excellent question. I think for our fundraising, I don't think we have anything set up for that, but you know what? We can ask. Yeah, we'll look into it. That's a good idea. She's a professional from years of school fundraising. That's where that comes from. Yeah, that's a great idea. All right, our dance classes continue Tuesday nights at 6:30. So if you're not in Abundant Living, you can go do some line dancing and belly dancing on Wednesdays at 7, which is another reason Wednesday Night Gateway is earlier so people can come to the service and then go dance. Because we wouldn't want you to have to choose between spirit and belly dancing, right? That's just not a good trade-off. All right. We have put a small bucket in the back for food donations. Mickey had dropped some of our stuff off at the shelter, and they are in desperate need of restocking their food bank. So when you think about it, when you go to the grocery store this week, pick up a couple extra cans or boxes of something that people might benefit from, and we'll continue our collection in the back of the room here. Yes, Graham?
Aren't there 2 passings this week?
I'm coming to that right now. I have to, it's an energy flow. So I think most of you know that a couple weeks ago we had our memorial service for Harry Scahill. And the day before his service on Friday, his wife Nancy passed. And we all sort of looked at each other and nudged each other and said, you can just hear Nancy telling Harry, you're not going to your memorial without me. So she went with him. No trip on your own. Yes, you need me there. So Nancy has also made her transition. And then just yesterday, Friday, thank you, Friday morning, Clyde made his transition. And for those of you, most of you know that he has been being treated for cancer for several years. He outlived everybody's prediction. He was determined to live his life fully, which he continued to do. The week before his passing, Ed took him shopping at the coin store, because he wasn't done yet. And I really have to tell you, it just makes my heart full to realize that even though he was having such a hard time, it never occurred to him to stop doing the things that he liked to do, and to basically give anybody a hard time who tried to tell him he shouldn't bother. There's just something about the spirit of life that cannot be denied. And as much as the medical profession can know and help, I really believe that he lived as long as he did with the disease that he had because of his attitude and because of his belief. So no service announcements times have been set yet, although his sister said probably about a month. So next month, stay tuned. We'll have the dates for that service, and it'll be here at the center.
Is there a service for Nancy?
I have not heard yet. I'll reach out to Jen and find out. Yep. Yeah. We were able to acknowledge it during Harry's service since it had just happened. But I'll ask her if she's doing a separate service, yes. Okay. Anything else that we have that we've done, we're going to do, we should tell people about, you want to sign up for? Okay, I think we're good. All right, let's stand up and sing, shall we? Don't forget the tip jar.
Take a look at the person next to you and say, God loves you and I love you too. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together, 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 we come together. In the name of love, from every walk of life.
Up above my